That's fine. That's fine. Oh, that's fine. I'm ready. Yes, thank you, David. I aspire to inspire. Mm. Thank you, Robert. It's my honor to be here. Thank you for having me. I really wanted to be here. So, again, manifestations coming all the way. But before we start, I have to say something that I don't know, I think you realize, but I have an addiction. And I wanted to get it out there in front of people. And it's the addiction of being positive. Bodrum, Bodrum. You are. Well, yeah. I think we're all perfect in our imperfections, right? Um, yeah. Yeah, well, I think it all started in my childhood, as you say, because I had my legs were crooked. I had to wear leg braces. I had really thick eyeglasses. My parents thought I was clumsy because I was always falling, and it's because I needed glasses and leg braces. So I used those. I was also a chubby kid, as I was before high school. I was chubby, and I think all those three things gave my parents more. They gave me more attention. They felt I needed more attention than my other two sisters. So I think in that way I got a little extra love. Even though my parents are the best and they were loving to the three of us, I still feel that I got the best of them because the extra attention that I got. My father passed away when I was 11, and I don't remember this, but my mother says even when he was sick, I was caring for him. I don't remember this. I have no recollection, but I do always remember that I wanted people to be happy. I don't know where I got it. My mom, one thing I can tell you, my mom kissed me good morning until I was 26 when I left her home. So I think that's one thing that can help. If your parents are loving, that's very helpful. If they weren't loving, because that's something that has happened to many people, unfortunately, then start loving yourself. Start finding ways to talk good to yourself about yourself. I have realized that self-esteem is the most important thing in life, and it's what helps you to be positive. The intuition part, I think somehow I had it since I was a little, Robert. I knew what was going to happen in movies. I still do. I know what they're going to say sometimes. And people are like, "Why, you saw this movie already, Sylvia?" And I didn't see it. I just somehow information gets to me about people, about life. Mm-hmm. Anybody has had that? No, I have been so fortunate. Yes. So for those people that haven't had that, if you're a parent, start with your children. That's the first thing. If you are a parent, start being kind and loving and respectful towards your children. Those jokes that they're like, "Oh, I got you," making jokes to the children, being sarcastic or ironic to your children, I don't think that helps your child or your relationship with your child. So if you do have children, treat them well, with respect, with love, not with irony or sarcasm, or, you know, don't try to trick them at all. So I think that will help because it already starts a connection with somebody else in a good way. So if you're a parent, you can start that way. If you're a single person, or you don't have any children, start writing down. Well, you can start reading. I got one of my books. I wanted to do an exercise with you, Robert. Can you give me, because this wraps all together. Can you give me a number between 7 and 144? Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. Yes. 7. Okay. And now give me, well, 7 only has 1. So the other thing to stay positive and to start reconnecting with yourself is reading stuff that helps you. This is a 365 positive book, my first book. And if you start reading positive things in your life, it can be the Bible, it can be somebody's book, it can be your own doing. You can start writing something positive every day, just one sentence. But here, give me another number between 1 and 3. 2. Each person is unique in their own way of finding their maximum expression. So this is the second thought of the book, of the page 7. So a lot of people have told me how this book, I wrote it in 2010, how this book has helped them stay positive in their lives. So even if you didn't have a good childhood, Find something to read that will help you stay optimistic, stay positive. Just yesterday, I met this woman that has been reading this book for, I don't know, 10 years or something. She wrote to me on Facebook, I want to meet with you. You have helped me so much in my life. And it was amazing, Robert, when you hear somebody that just with little sentences like that has helped them. So if she did it, anybody can do it. Anybody can bring themselves up by reading, for example. This one is in Spanish. I don't have the English version, but it's an English version in Amazon, so you can get it in Amazon under Silvia 365 positive thoughts. So it's one for each day, and you will see that there is a line to write the date, because I don't know if you've had one of those positive thoughts book that they have. Okay, you have to read this one this day, this one that day. And I didn't like that because I wanted to be free to read whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. So there's a space, so you write down the date. That's another interesting story. I was a university professor, and I remember as I started, and I was 31 or 32 years old, and I told myself, I don't want to be a dinosaur professor, because there were professors there when I got in to be a professor that taught me. And they had been in there for like 30, 40 years at the university. And I thought, I don't want to be one of them. I want to like stay a little bit and then go and move on. 9 years went by. Something not so nice happened at work and I had to quit. So I quit and I said, well, I guess this is what I wanted. It didn't happen the way I wanted, but it happened. And then I was like, what do I do now? And my boyfriend at the time said, why don't you write that book that you've always been talking about? So I had 6 months that they were paying for me because it was an unfortunate situation. But during those 6 months, I wrote that book. And I just went, different experiences. Some of them you will see, they just came out inspiration, oblivion. Don't ask me because I cannot give you an answer, but many of them have a name after them. For example, this one says, accept others as they are and support them in their positive changes because it's their time and their way. Fabio. So it has a name. This guy, Fabio, was a friend of mine. He took coaching, the International Coaching Federation certification with me. And he was always talking about how everybody's got their own timing and support them in their timing. So many of them do have a name. In the English version, you will not see the name. But I was inspired, or they inspired me to write that thought. So some people did inspire me. Maybe, I don't know, out of the 365, maybe 80 or 75 were inspired by someone, and I gave them credit writing their name in there. But the English version doesn't have them. Mm-hmm. Excellent. I love it. Yes. 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 That is Yes, Robert, I want to first of all congratulate you. That is an excellent idea, and it's a very loving way to show your son how you're always thinking about him. And many parents, I'm not a mother, so I don't know how the experience goes, but I know how it goes for many people that I've helped, and I've helped people regain that connection with their adult children, actually. So this is very good. That's one thing that you can do. And some parents like to call their adult children every day. I don't recommend calling them every day. Writing is different because he can take the time to read it whenever he has the time. But a phone call, I don't think it's too appropriate to call every day if you want to make connection again with them. But you could send them a text message or a Facebook message, or using the social media in a good way. And also, one thing that I recommend to parents is stop giving them advice. Stop giving your children advice. Why? Because most of the advice that I've known parents to give the children is unwanted advice or unasked for. Many times, as we are adults, I'm 53 years old. My mom, I keep saying she's the best. She doesn't give me advice. When I tell her, okay, I'm going to do this, she's like, mm-hmm. I know inside she's like, don't do this, do that. But she just holds her space for me. And she does it with my two sisters, and the three of us are very different in many ways. And so it's so beautiful how you can just hope that you raised them well. And if they ask for your advice, give it to them in a very gentle and open way. Instead of saying, you have to do this, say, well, I remember one time you told me you wanted to do this. Maybe that it's the time to do it. I don't know. What do you think? Like talking to them in an open way. But you will help. It all connects, because this way you can help your children with their self-love by not telling them what to do and trusting that they can do what they have to do. Mm-hmm. Yes, self-love has many things for me. For example, meditation. I believe that too many people these days are looking into social media for advice on this, on that, and then they're on a podcast wearing the headphones or the earplugs all the time, all day long, listening to something instead of listening to themselves. I think it would be nice if you were to listen to yourself, because when you listen to somebody else's advice all the time, it means you don't trust yourself to make the right decision. So you're already putting yourself down by thinking somebody else knows better. It varies. Most of the mornings I listen to Abraham Hicks. I listen to a Rampage and I repeat what she says, which is hard because she goes very fast. I repeat it so that it goes twice the fun. Sometimes I meditate in silence, 15 minutes. I listen to the noise. I sometimes sleep with AC, sometimes with the fan. So I listen to the fan, as she says, or the AC. Sometimes with a candle, sometimes with yoga music. So it depends on if I feel like it's a quiet morning for me. I do it first thing in the morning. Like I wake up, I do some stretches in bed, which will help me feel better, which helps my body feels better. I do the stretches in bed, and then I do my meditation, and then I drink my warm water. So that is self-love already, because I'm taking care of me. What helps me feel good? And some people have some rituals, some people don't. It depends on if you like rituals or not. I'm not saying my rituals are the best. They work for me. And sometimes I wake up late and I'm like, oh, I can't do the meditation. So I don't do it, but I don't feel bad about it. Okay, I try to think that bad things don't exist. Think about it, when you say something bad happened to me, it's only because it didn't work out how you thought it should or could or would. but not because it's bad. Unless it's a moral thing, of course, then it goes against my values, or I don't believe it's right. But something bad. The other day, okay. Okay. Hmm. It's a bad thing. Yes. 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 To me, a bad thing would be that I wouldn't be speaking with you right now. Thank God you have the resources to get another car. I'm alive. That's the first and most important thing whenever you have a car accident to think about. It's not about how am I going to deal with the car accident, how am I going to get to the next meeting. You are alive to think that it was an accident. You are alive. So self-esteem, first of all, is I'm alive. Why am I alive, Robert? I aspire to inspire. So I'm here to help others enjoy life to the fullest. And the first thing that we need to know, I think, and appreciate is life. We forget to appreciate our eyes, our ears, the nose, the tongue, the heart, the lungs, the stomach, the liver, especially the liver with the drinking. We forget to take care of this amazing, lovely body that does it all. Why does it get sick? Because we don't care for it. The body is a miracle. I do walking, or actually I just joined the gym because I hadn't been in a gym for like a year and a half. And I thought, okay, this body is not so, I don't love my body anymore. I want to love it. I like it, I appreciate it, but I don't love it anymore. And I want to love it. And of course, changes are coming with time and with age, but there is much more that we can do rather than say, well, I'm this old and my body is supposed to change. No. I remember some doctors saying, well, your body's going to change with this age or with this medication. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to gain weight because you're putting this medication on me. I'm going to be able to fix it. I went to a naturopathy doctor and he also helped me. So finding ways to feel good. If I feel that my body's not feeling at its most, I will eat healthier. I will find ways to stretch in the internet or do some exercises to strengthen this part of the body and that part of the body. So I'm not into much lotion thing for the face, for example, but I do care about the body and I try to care for it. If I'm drinking alcohol, it's very little. I don't do any drugs. All of my life I haven't done any drugs because I respect, love, and appreciate my body. Yeah. So when I turned 40, I thought there has to be more to life than this. I had a boyfriend at the time. I had just quit my job at the university after 9 years. I had a convertible car. I had a beach house. I had an apartment. And this professor was like, in Puerto Rico, if you're a professor at a university, a graduate professor, it's like a prestigious position. And I was like, no, there has to be more. And this boyfriend is nice. He's great, but there has to be more. So I said, you know what, I quit my job, I left my boyfriend, I broke up with him, I sold my car, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna move to a place where I can be quieter, where I don't have all this input. Because I was living in the middle of Condado, which is like the busiest and the most touristic place in Puerto Rico. It's like the best place to be if you wanna be there. And so I moved to my other apartment, which was on the other side of the island, in front of the beach, really nice and quiet. But then I thought, no. So I changed jobs, and this other job was very stressful. It was with the federal government. It was helping people with disability, but very stressful. And then I said, okay, I'm going to quit this job. After 4 years, I quit that job, and I said, okay, I'm going to move to Bali. I'm going to go to Bali. I don't know why. I ended up going to a smaller island of Puerto Rico because my stepdad was not feeling so great. Mom's like, oh, please stay nearby. Well, in this before I went to this little island, I heard a friend saying about this spiritual guide lady, and she knew everything, and she could help you when you're making big changes. And I thought, well, I haven't tried any of this woo-woo thing, so I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna go to this lady because I need some guidance. And I had been to a life coach, and I had been to some psychologists before, but I thought it's not gonna help. So I'm gonna go to this lady, see how it goes. And she, on her first meeting, I went to her maybe 4 times, 6 months apart, so 2 years. And the first meeting she said, you should call yourself Dr. Soul. Yeah, and I was like, no, I don't think so. That's too pretentious. I don't like it, you know. And she's like, well, you know what? If you don't believe me and if you don't want to listen to me, it's okay. We'll give you your money back and you can just leave. And I said, no, I want to stay because I liked it, of course. But I thought it's too much. So I did take this title. This was in 2015. She gave me this name. And I took it on in 2019 or 18. So 3 or 4 years after she told me, I thought, now I feel like I can accept the title or the name Dr. Soul because my intuition had developed to a degree that I didn't even understand. So yes. Yes. So the alignment part comes from Abraham Hicks. I learned from Abraham Hicks in 2017 when I was in Israel for 3 months there. In 2017, I traveled for 8 months. I went to India, Israel, Thailand, Greece. I had so many beautiful spiritual experiences during that year. Canada, New York, and that helped me to understand that I am here to help, but not in the traditional way as a psychologist, not in the traditional way as a coach, because I heard this man in Greece, he could help people just by touching them, and I was like, oh, I want to be able to do that, you know. And I started asking, because as you know, with the law of attraction, if you say that you want something and you believe that you can become it, you can become it, and you do become it. So little by little, I started believing that I had these special gifts that allow me to help people in a faster way. But it's not only that I help people faster, it's that the people that come to me are ready for the changes. They are ready to take responsibility for their lives. Many people that I used to see as a psychologist, they're like, oh, this is happening to me, or that happened to me, you know, so it's more of a victim role. But the people I talk to now, these are entrepreneurs, these are people that are tired of living a life that they don't like, so they're ready to make the changes. These are people that are really want to reconnect with their partners, people that really want to lose the weight that they've gained because of unsatisfactory life experiences. And it's such a beautiful thing to be able to know things. For example, I will give you the most blow my mind thing that happened, because when I give the soul alignment meeting, individual meeting, I know things about people that they didn't tell me. And this is one thing that's very interesting. And for me, it's normal because it just happens. But one time, I have apartments here in Puerto Rico that I rent, and this tenant of mine needed some keys, some extra set of keys. So I have to take it to her, and as I'm going to her, I go through this specialty shop, and something in my mind tells me, get her ghee. You know what ghee is? It's a clarified butter. It's clarified butter. Yeah, many people don't know. And I learned about it in India in 2017. And I was like, what? This American lady, she probably doesn't even know what ghee is. I'm not going to get her ghee. So I keep walking, and then the voice comes again, get her ghee. I was like, oh. So I went back, I got the ghee, I went to the apartment, gave her the keys, talked a little bit with her. And so the ghee was in a bag, right? And I put it on the table, and she's like, hey, Sylvia, you're going to leave your bag. And I said, I didn't bring a bag. I was walking here. Yeah, this bag. And I was like, oh, no, that's the ghee. What do I tell her? So I said, well, this is going to sound weird, but something told me to bring you ghee. And I was like, waiting for her response. And she was like 60 something. She started jumping. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Sylvia, you're not going to believe this. I have a Chinese doctor in the States, and I was doing a Zoom call with him yesterday, and he said to get ghee. Okay. Get there. you know, you know, you know how many people ask me that question. It's so interesting because entrepreneurs that want to start making money, they're like, well, you have to make a step by step and do something so that other people can do that too. And I said, I don't know how it happened, but I do know that I have this intrinsic love for people, Robert. I can't explain it. I love people. I want everyone to be happy. And since I can't make them do what I want them to do, I just have this gift. And I feel so honored. But I asked for it. I asked, I want to be able to help people. And I didn't want to get frustrated because they didn't change in the first meeting, right? Because coaching takes maybe 6 months, sometimes a year. And I was getting frustrated, and I was like, I don't want to be frustrated. So then I thought, you know what? I'm going to start giving one meeting. That's it. So I started giving maybe 3 meetings at first. And then when I started calling myself Dr. Soul, I turned it into 1 meeting. And I said, when people come to me, they need to be ready to take charge of their lives. They need to be ready to stop giving excuses. They need to be ready to stop blaming their mother, stop blaming their partner, stop blaming their past, and start looking to the future. And start looking to the present moment. And what they're doing or not doing. Yes, a soul alignment is a 1 hour individual meeting that I give most preferably in person, but it can be over the phone or internet, whatever. And we talk about 7 areas of your life. These 7 areas I got from the coaching experience. I changed 2 or 3 of the names, but it's the 7 areas because I believe those 7 areas include or encompass our life. And some areas for some people need a little bit more attention, so they might want to meet 1 or 2 times, but at the most I meet 3 times per year with everybody. At the most 3 times, the soul alignment meeting and 2 more. That's it. And in this soul alignment, I receive an order of importance or order of priority for each person, and it's always different. And we talk about those 7 areas and how I see it. It's interesting because one lady in Greece told me, it's like you see things like if you were seeing the perfect version of me. You know how in the Bible and Abraham, they always talk about seeing your best version. And many coaches talk about, let me help you get to your best version. But I'm not going to help you to get to your best version. You have to do it yourself. I'm not going to do it for you. I can show you little things that you can do. For example, one time I met with this couple from the States, and they were going to buy a property from me. And he said, well, give me one of those meetings of yours. And I was like, yeah, but your wife is here. It's individual. He's like, oh, I don't care. She can be here. Okay. So I gave him the meeting. In the end, he said, yeah, but I want an assignment. I want something to do. And I didn't used to give any assignments, but I thought people want something to do. So sometimes I do give assignments. And I said to him, well, if you when you ask me to do something, I would recommend that you sit down every day and have dinner with your family. The wife almost flipped. She's like, he's never gonna do that. And I said, well, you know what? Financial, family, and couple situations will get better when you sit down. And I don't recommend this to everybody, but this is what came for him, specifically for him. I don't know where, I don't know how, I don't know why. But it was right on the dot. I don't know that he started doing it, and I don't think he ever did it. But it's a simple thing, Robert. If you think about it, it's 1 hour. This is your family. This is your work. I told him this is going to help you with everything, with the 7 areas. It's one thing, 1 hour you need to do every day. That's it. If I tell you, 7 areas is partner, financial, family, time off, spirituality, expansion, and work, but I call it passion. I'm having a little bit of a situation these days with the word passion, because somebody in Spain, I came from Portugal, and somebody from Spain that I met in Portugal, he said, well, but passion comes from the passion of God, and it's suffering. And I'm like, oh no, you just ruined this for me. Now I'm trying to think of a different word for that. We can talk about it another time, but I like it too. But yeah, so those are the 7 areas. Mm-hmm. In that meeting, I am the one mostly doing the talking, which was against me in psychotherapy, because you had to let the other talk, and I was always talking. But in this meeting, I tell the person how I see their life in each one of the areas, and what I suggest, how I suggest them to move forward. I believe we're all meant to have easy and fun lives. And so I give them advice, if you might, or recommendations, or a path that they could take. Sometimes it's as superficial as a haircut. I don't know why. Yes. And you just go on my website, planforamiracle.com, because I said people love planning, right? Because they think they have control over their lives. And we do have some control, but there are some things we have no control over. But there are some things that we do. So Plan for a Miracle, it didn't make any sense in a way, but for me it makes perfect sense. And so you go on the website, and at the end of the website there is an Airbnb link, because it's an Airbnb experience. I call it transformation while on vacation. So you go in there and you choose a time frame, or you ask for a time frame depending on where you're at, and I can give it over the internet, over the phone, or if you come to Puerto Rico, even better. No, you don't stay at my place. It used to be like that. It used to be that people stayed at my place. I lived in the smaller island of Puerto Rico, Vieques. I lived there for 5 years, and I had a room for people to stay with me at my house. But now people stay in their own place. I mean, in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's really funny because in 2017 I didn't plan a way back. I just had tickets for Germany, uh, India, and Israel, those three places, and it was going to take maybe 2 months and a half, and I stayed for 7 or 8 months. 8 months. So since then, people are asking me, so where are you going? Where are you going? What's your next trip? And I say, allow the plan to evolve to its best version. Don't try to push it. So right now I don't have any plans. With your trip to Greece, your boat, I have your books. I worked with them because I loved learning Joe Dispenza from you. Thank you very much. Not only was it fun learning, but it was really special getting to know you better and meeting all your friends, old and new, at the boat. So it was a really good experience. You should go with Robert and learn from him. Actually, you're a really good. I am very easily bored, and you kept my attention the whole time. So for me, I need someone really good to be able to pay attention. So I really, what was I going to say about Greece? Yes, the trip. I was only going to Abraham Hicks and then going to Europe for Portugal. And you said, hey, I have this trip and we could work it out so I could be the photographer. And that worked out for me. And then I went to Cappadocia, which I wasn't planning on going. And so things evolve in my life. I usually do not plan where I'm going to go. I just allow the plan to evolve to its best version. When I went to London this year, I was going to stay there for a week. I ended up staying 2 weeks and a half. In Portugal, I ended up staying a month. So I don't know where I'm going next. Well, yeah, that's a good question. Last year, because I retired when I went to Vieques to live. I figured I didn't have to work. This was when I was 45, so I retired since I was 45, and I did some little things here and there, but not really. But then this year, the end of last year, I took a 2.5 month travel time, and when I got back here, I was so bored, Robert. I was like, I'm 52 at that time. I'm 52. I need to do something with my life because this is boring when I'm in Puerto Rico. I mean, of course, it's fun to do whatever you want, but I'm 53. I shouldn't be retired already. And I tried having a regular job. I didn't like it. I was like, no, it's not for me. I don't want to go back to an office. So I do give the soul alignments. Those are like 30 per month, more or less, 20 or 30. Yeah, it started with two or three. And then now it's building up. It's building up. Sometimes 15 to 30. Yeah. New people, a lot of people on vacation. A lot of new people in Puerto Rico also that go to Airbnb to learn about Puerto Rico, and they find my experience. So yeah, I'm doing that a lot. But last year I thought I want to do something else, not only this. And so I started with real estate. And people are, oh, you. Well, in Puerto Rico, there's two positions, a broker and a salesperson. The broker does everything by themselves, and they can sell and buy and work by themselves. And the salesperson has to work with a broker they call it a realtor, but realtor in Puerto Rico is it's a brand like Kleenex for tissue paper. So yeah, I'm a salesperson. I said, I don't want to work by myself. This is too boring. I want to work with someone, for someone. I want to learn, and I didn't want to be in charge. Many people want to be in charge. I don't want to be in charge. I want to be on the side, taking it slow, going my pace, In Puerto Rico, the word for broker is a runner. So I'm like, I don't want to be a runner. I want to take my pace. I want to take my time, enjoy life, keep enjoying life while helping others find a house or sell their house or apartment or rent it. I never think myself of a marketing expert. Uh, I am a loving person that want to share my gift, and Airbnb has given me the platform to offer this meeting to people from around the world that are not even here. No, let me explain. Yeah, yes, it has to do. Airbnb has two, maybe you don't know this. Airbnb has two options, hosting and experiences. So Airbnb has experiences, and soul alignment is one of the experiences in Airbnb. Airbnb has two sides. Yeah. When I was in 2017, we didn't have it in Puerto Rico yet, but in New York, I took like a tie-dye class. Like it's the Japanese original version. I took it there, and I've taken music lessons, dance lessons when I travel. So whenever you travel, you can go on Airbnb experiences and find. Now it's kind of too general. Like there's everything in there, but it used to be that it was only typical things from that place that you could get, so that you would learn about that culture. Now it's a little bit, like Airbnb has changed a lot since it started. Now it's more commercial. Yeah. Well, I think they, you have to find a way to make it culturally appealing so that Airbnb accepts it. They have their own, yeah, but many people that are starting, photographers are adding up in there. If you know how to cook something that's typical to your area. One time I met an American guy in Puerto Rico teaching people how to make mojitos, which are not even from Puerto Rico. I was like, what? Yes, and he was charging like $20 per person to teach them how to make a mojito. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, Airbnb has expanded that way. And for me, it's easy because for the taxes, because it's something that I do on my own, for the taxes, also for the reviews. When you go on my Airbnb experience, you will see some of the reviews because, as you know, you don't have to write reviews, and some people, it's too personal. And many psychologists have come to me for the soul alignment because I was a university professor for 9 years. So when they see on my social media, oh, she's giving this meeting, I want to take it. And they take it, they don't give me a review because they're psychologists, renowned psychologists in Puerto Rico. Yes, well, you can go to my website, planforamiracle.com. I have all my social media in there. I'm giving Instagram a break these days. I'm using only Facebook, but it's all in there. Sylvia Dr. Sol Fernandez, as my name says down here, without the quotes. Sylvia Dr. Sol Fernandez. You can find me on YouTube. I'm very active on YouTube these days, also. Yeah. Every day, all day. Thank you, Robert, for having me. Bye bye. And we have to wait. What was it that he said we had to wait? 1% uploading. Thank you, Robert. This was fun. Yeah. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. Yes. Well, I used it because it helped me keep track of how much I was earning, and also for the reviews, mostly for the reviews. Because earning, I was writing down how much I was getting paid and then talking to my tax guy, but the reviews are there. So if you go on my website, Plan for a Miracle, and you go all the way to the end, you will see, you will go to Airbnb experiences and then the reviews. And the reviews, my last meeting I gave, I don't know, and I don't really care. You know why? I don't remember. The thing is, I give this meeting because I love to give it. I don't do it for the money, Robert. The money is always finding me. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why. Money is always finding me, opportunities are always finding me. And yeah, so I just let it work for me and enjoy it. Thank you.